All right, give me a minute to get my other stream going in. We should be going momentarily. We're going to be, as you can see, talking about coffee and politics. That's kind of how we're going to do this. But give me about a minute, a good solid minute to get everything going here, and we should be up momentarily. So, and good afternoon, or better yet, good morning rather, to those who I know I'm going to screw this up and say it several times because I'm used to saying good evening. I'm never on in the morning, so bear with me. Each guest, I'm gonna be constantly probably saying good good evening when it actually is morning because I'm just never on doing morning shows. But today I figured I'd get in here because there is something I want to talk to you guys about, and like I always say, in the era of Trump, shit moves fast, and today is no exception to that rule. So bear with me while I get my other streams. I'm going to be on Substack, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I think I did. I just hit what I think. Well, we'll make it happen. Okay. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the program. Just going to have a little bit of politics and coffee, or coffee and politics, however you want to look at it. But um, I don't even know where to go with this. Some controversial shit that I want to bring up from two different angles. One, you probably heard both of these things, but in fact, I think all of these are controversial. In fact, I'm looking at my notes for today's show. I think every one of these are controversial. But as opposed to just telling them to you right away, I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and let the clips speak for themselves. But all of these are controversial, in my opinion. Maybe you'll have a difference of opinion on this stuff, but I think all of these are controversial.
President Trump is being criticized for his comments about the late Robert Mueller. The former FBI director died last night at the age of 81. He served in that role for 12 years, making him the second longest serving director in FBI history. More recently, he was known for leading the Trump Russia probe into the 2016 election. This afternoon, President Trump posted this on social media about Mueller, saying, quote, "Good. I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people." Virginia Senator Mark Warner said that he's disappointed by what the president had to say.
This is the president of the United States talking about a former FBI director, someone who had a career of public service, and to be that disrespectful. I guess I shouldn't be shocked anymore, but it still seems shocking.
Members of his own party are also responding to those comments tonight. Republican Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina said that Mueller, quote, deserved more respect than that. He also said,
So, and I see you folks on TikTok, I gotta check that out because somebody's saying the multi-guest access thing is out. Yeah, they may have temporarily suspended it. I didn't notice that until you're saying it now. Let me check. I'll reset the TikTok. Bear with me for a minute, but I do want to talk to you other folks on the other apps. I mean, what is the defense for that? What is the defense for President Trump saying that about? I mean, look, fact is, you shouldn't say that about anybody that dies, but this dude is a war hero. This guy has spent his whole life serving this country. How is this acceptable? I mean, are we at the point where anything Trump does is just okay? Now, and I see in the comments, what is it, Dow Jones or whatever the case may be. What is the name there? Yeah, Dow Jones says nobody crosses me. Fair enough, but I do have to ask: is this the way we do things from now? I mean, he's the president of the United States, so what does he say? The same thing. There's a whole lot of liberals that have challenged Trump and spoke. So what do? You celebrate every one of them when they die? Is that where we're at now? Is that when people die, we say horrible shit about them because we want to give Trump we want it to be okay that Trump did it? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking this question. And yes, for my TikTok viewers, apparently we're gonna have to try to do a live with multi-guest access being suspended. So yeah, they did suspend the multi-guest access until tomorrow. So I can only bring up guests on Instagram and Substack. So I cannot bring up guests on TikTok. But here's what I want to bring up. And I see somebody say, get a little education before you speak, please. Well, Carl, that's your job. That is your job. Why do we think we always say this is a MAGA-friendly program? God damn it, nobody has all the fucking answers. Neither do you, neither do I. So the education is us all being in the same goddamn platform at one time, speaking to each other. So if you got some shit to add, goddamn it, add it. But just simply saying get some education doesn't do anybody a goddamn bit of benefit. So cue in what you got to say. But here's what I want, and we don't block, ban, or censor, so feel free to insult away, but add something to it with some substance. Here's what I want to ask. This is what I don't get. Now, we're talking about this, and I don't know where the hell, oh, here's my graphic. What I want to bring up is this. You see on my screen here? You see on my screen, we got Mueller passing away this year and Charlie Kirk. Why was it so off limits, according to Trump and his administration, to chastise Charlie Kirk upon his death, but suddenly okay to do it to Robert Mueller? And we can also talk about that meathead guy from All in the Family, was Rob Rayner, whatever his name is. Why is it okay to criticize some people in death, but wrong to do it for others? Is there any form of hypocrisy in this? Because when Charlie Kirk passed away, they were actually threatening to go after people's jobs and everything. But now Trump gets up there and says, I'm glad Robert Mueller is dead. I need somebody to make that make sense. And in the comments, somebody says, I have the answers. What are you, Kanye West? You ain't got the answers, Sway. But let me know. State your comment in the comments. I'll gladly read that, Roman. But I want to know, why was it okay to criticize Mueller and Rayner, but off limits to criticize Kirk? Regardless of how you feel about any of these folks, Charlie Kirk and Rob Rayner was known for attacking Trump. Charlie Kirk was known for saying horrible shit about all sorts of folks, including African Americans. Why is it off limits for him, but okay for everybody else? I need someone to let me know that, because that does not make sense to me at all. For you folks on YouTube, yes, the multi-guest is a one-day. TikTok took it down for one day, so there's nothing I can do with the multi-guest for my TikTok viewers that are watching, but I do want to find that out. Why was it okay for one and not the other? And the comment says it's because Robert is one of his enemies. That's why he said that about him. Well, Lucidio, that's the point, though. So in other words, it's okay for Trump to say negative things about his enemies, but he does not afford others to say negative things about their enemies? How is that not being narcissistic? It's okay for me to do it, but it's not okay for you to do it. Because Charlie Kirk was viewed as an enemy by folks as well. Why was it okay to criticize Mueller's death and not Charlie Kirk's? Unless there's some kind of special pass they should be giving to the president. Is he suggesting that he should get a special pass that perhaps no one else does? Somebody let me know, because I'm trying to make sense out of this. It's simple. If you're not on Trump's side, you're doomed, says Richard. Yeah, but then that means he's not operating for the whole country. In other words, I'm only operating on behalf of my countrymen that favor me. If you are an American and you do not favor the direction I am delivering for this country, you are doomed. Then he's not a president for all. I've corrected many on this show who, Trump's not my president. Yeah, he is. You're an American. He's your president. Well, if you believe that, then no, he's not your president. If he's talking like that, good job simplifying things to the most extreme. Thank you, I suppose. But I am trying to find that out. Why is it okay to criticize the death of Robert Mueller and not Charlie Kirk? What is the difference? I'm going to ask you folks on TikTok in particular, since the multi-guest is all screwed up. Tap the, smash that like button, helps out the algorithm. The program is going to still remain what it is. We bring up callers from Instagram and Substack while TikTok is down. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We will remain MAGA friendly as always. We'll never be a program that is not friendly to the MAGA side of the aisle as well as the liberals. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. Everybody gets to speak. This is an uncensored program. You can criticize anyone, including yours truly. In the comments, though, real quick, it's simple. I saw it's because Robert, you said he's one of his enemies. Yeah, how is that acceptable, though? Are we okay with when the president does not like somebody? He can just say and do whatever. So, and this isn't the only topic I want to run with you, but I thought that was the most shocking to literally announce, I'm glad he's dead, like within a few minutes of the guy dying. I'll just tell you this right off the bat, and this goes out to my beloved MAGA viewers. From this point on, ain't shit you can say about anybody that says anything after the death of Trump. If you're okay with him saying that, if you find it in your heart any way, shape, or form to defend what he just said about Mueller, you have therefore forfeited any credibility to criticize anyone when they say something at his passing. You forfeited that. In fact, he has forfeited anybody honoring him at this point. Once he has done that to a man that spent his entire life serving the country. Okay, the guy looked into prosecuting him. That doesn't take away Mueller's service to this country, the Purple Heart he received, the fact that he volunteered to join the Vietnam War when everybody else was trying to find a way out of it. That doesn't take away any of that. So just because he went after you, you get on social media and say that to the whole country. So I'm just simply saying, if you're defending Trump's actions towards Mueller upon his death, you have no place criticizing anyone that may celebrate any ill will brought upon Trump. No place at all at this point. You're apparently okay with it. In other words, as long as you have a beef with this person, feel free to say whatever the hell you want about him. Then that would also extend to the commander-in-chief. Looking in the comments, Trump is justified because so much of the world wants to see the Donald Trump obituary. Okay, then he wanted to see Mueller's obituary. So, like I said, once he did that, there's no defense for him. You're saying people want to see Trump die. Well, Trump just admitted he wanted to see Mueller die. So he is now basically out of the realm of deserving any type of treatment, any less than what he gave Mueller. That's just my opinion on it. Trump is, what is it? Trump is not a normal person. He bring problems for America. I don't understand the writing of that, but we'll just continue on with the show. But I promise you, folks, there's more than one controversial aspect to the show today, and that one was really bad in my opinion. But it's not the only one. There's three things Trump has done in the last 24 hours or so that I find to be controversial, and I want to run it by you folks.
Watching live now, I'm Austin Westfall. We have been tracking the Middle East closely, and we were about to go to our overnight playlist, but we just got some breaking news in from President Trump. He just sent this out on Truth Social, saying if Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. That's all it says. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The president wraps by saying.
Kind of reminds me of, I don't know if for some of you Gen Xers that may have seen the old 1980s movie Iron Eagle, we're going to start out by targeting your biggest oil field, kind of what Doug Masters did on Iron Eagle. Well, he's saying he's going to start with the biggest power plant in Iran first. Do you favor this? Do you think what Trump is doing, if they do not fully open the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first? Thank you for your attention to this matter. Two problems with this. One being the Israelis just blew up a big oil plant in Iran, and Iran responded by blowing up a big oil plant in Qatar, whatever you want to call it. And the Trump administration tried to indicate that they didn't give Netanyahu and Israel the right to do this because now you're targeting oil plants. Well, if you target their power plant, what's the difference? If you're trying to make Iran, become a powerless country where they're going to be in the dark like Cuba currently is, thanks to President Trump, what's the difference? So if we start hitting their power plants, then they're going to start attacking major oil fields considerably more than they've been doing. They were not attacking oil fields to any significant degree until Israel attacked theirs. So if we escalate at this level, they're going to probably start attacking power plants in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and all the neighboring countries. And this is going to lead to oil prices skyrocketing if President Trump does that. But there's two aspects to this. Because I know some folks do favor Trump taking it to this level and putting the Iranian citizens and their population in the dark. Here's the other problem. Weren't we supposedly there because Iranian protesters were being slaughtered and we made it sound like we were there to help them rise up and take their country back? If you plummet all of them into the dark, where they can no longer refrigerate food, heat and cool themselves, use medical machines in hospitals, you think the Iranian population is going to view us as heroes, as liberators? If we do, because this is something everybody's going to suffer for. You're not here to just take out an evil regime. Now you're hurting all of us. Do you believe that they're going to see us as liberators if we do something like this? This is going to hurt the average citizen in Iran significantly more than it is going to hurt the regime, because they're going to have money and access to generators and things like that to get around this. This is going to hurt the average Iranian citizen, the ones we're claiming we're there to help protect. So I want folks to understand that once he does this, I'm already to the point where I don't think there's any serious likelihood that the Iranian population sees us as liberators now. But once you do this, there's no coming back from this. It's just like in Cuba, we're currently making it so that they're all living in the dark. A humanitarian crisis of epic proportions. Like I said, you can't refrigerate food. You can't heat and cool yourself from air conditioning or using heat. Your cars are not moving around. Just completely stop the country, bring it to a halt. It's hard because we're suggesting we're there to rescue them from the Castro regime. I don't see how you can do this to a population and also expect them to view you as heroes. Understand, anybody that's went to a hospital knows that there is a ton of machinery in hospitals that run off electricity. If a hospital has no power, patients will die. There's no other way around that. If the hospital loses power, patients will die. We've made it so that Cuba has no power at all. And they've been that way now since we invaded Venezuela. That's who was trading oil with Cuba. We stopped all of those shipments of oil going to Cuba. They were able to ration out a little bit of it for a while, but it's all ran out. And now they're having widespread blackouts on that country island or whatever you want to call it. Well, now we're threatening to do this to Iran. Why don't people believe it? Is there anybody that believe that they're going to see us as liberators throughout this? So that's controversial act number 2. And as I promised you, he did 3 things that I feel are fairly controversial. And this one is the third, should it happen.
Trump just posting this on Truth Social, quote, "If the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before, including the immediate arrest of all illegal immigrants who have come into our country, with heavy emphasis on those from Somalia who have totally destroyed, with the approval of a corrupt governor, attorney general, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, the once great state of Minnesota. I look forward to seeing ICE in action at our airports. Make America great again." And that comes, as we know, ICE is fully funded for a few years. So he does have the power to do this. And I guess the question remains, does Chuck Schumer continue this?
So if the Democrats don't, because right now it's all about the Save America Act. Trump wants to pass that, and the Democrats do not favor it the way it's written. Now, we can debate 80-20 issue, voter ID or whatever the case, but the Save America Act has a lot more in it than just that. It also has transgender related stuff. So it's not just a bill to make sure, only Americans can vote. There's transgender related shit in there as well. I don't know why is that in a voting bill? And he doesn't want to take any of that out either. So it's more of a it's more of a right-wing dream package than a voter bill. Because there's, like I said, there's a lot more in it. He's saying save America, so what, he's saving them from transgender as well? I mean, it depends on how you want to look at it. But there is anti-trans legislation in there as well. But the point is, you hear him state that the ICE agents will be targeting Somali. I mean, why would you bring up the Somali population? So he's not trying to suggest that in the absence of Homeland Security or TSA agents, we'll just put in ICE and then they can kind of fill the deal. He's trying to give you pictures of what happened in Minnesota. He's trying to let you know, if the Democrats do not bow and allow the Save America Act to pass, we're going to bring to airports what we brought to Minnesota. I mean, because he's bringing up all of this, arresting Somalis and things like that. So he's not painting a picture of just securing the airports. Now he's talking about specific. There's no problems with Somalis at airports. Why is that coming up? The Somalis haven't done anything that we've heard about at airports. So why is he bringing this up if they're going to airports, other than to suggest we're gonna wreak havoc? If you don't want to play ball, we're gonna wreak havoc at the nation's airports. Ow. I don't know where we go with this, because ultimately it'll start leading people to not want to fly. I mean, there are a lot of Americans that don't want to fuck with ICE, don't want to be anywhere near these people. And they're not just Somalis. They're not just people of color. They're not just immigrants. There are plenty. I mean, look, there's a lot of folks who are 100% law abiding that don't want to fuck with police, because you are even when you get pulled over for a traffic stop, there are people who are 100% law abiding that still get sweaty palms and because you're dealing with somebody that has full control over you. I mean, when they pull you over at a traffic stop, it's really up to them if they adhere to your rights and things like that. If they make up something that's kind of a you against them type deal, you're hoping the body cam is on, you're hoping the department will release the footage if you needed it to be. I mean, you're kind of at their whim. So a lot of folks that are even law-abiding citizens, I don't have any criminal record. I make it clear my criminal history is probably better than most cops. That don't mean I don't feel antsy dealing with them. Just like there are bad people that don't like cops, there are bad cops that don't like some people. So you don't just want to deal with them willy-nilly. Well, I'm law-abiding, I don't have nothing to worry about. You don't know what's on that person's mind. Maybe they got a relative that got robbed by somebody that looked like your ass, or live in your neighborhood, or talk like you, or sound like you, or drive the same damn car as you. You don't know what's on their mind. Just like when they pull you over, they do not trust you. They want your hands in sight. They touch the quarter panel of your car just in case something happens. They leave their fingerprints on your car. They approach you from behind your left shoulder to give them tactical advantage. They clearly do not trust you. So the notion that you should just automatically trust them and hope for the best, no. Any defense attorney worth his salt will tell you, do not volunteer information to cops. And this is for everybody. It's nothing to do with just people of color or, any specific group of people. Any defense lawyer will tell you, give them the bare minimum. Any defense lawyer will tell you they do not always act in good faith. They tell lies in court, et cetera, et cetera. So fact is, people have a reason to be concerned too in what President Trump is doing. So what happens? Are you going to have ICE at airports with masks? So you're getting patted down by somebody that has no name ID. They're wearing a mask and every damn thing, huh? You think that's going to maybe affect people wanting to travel to this country and things like that? You think this could end up causing a problem with that? And thank you for the TikTok cap there, Lewis. I appreciate that. By the way, folks, they did turn off. I got a one-day ban on the live guest but we can do it over here on Instagram. We'll bring up Sherbert. Good evening. I'm gonna be saying good evening all the time because I'm used to being on in the evening. But good morning, Sherbert, and thank you. That says OBCP pressure washing. Do you lean to any political side? Hang on one second, Sherbert. I lean slightly left. I don't think every damn thing the left does is good. I don't think everything the right does is bad, but I do favor things like pro-choice, minimum wage increase, and some of that stuff. And I don't believe that making fun of somebody after they die is something we should be defending. So if I gotta lean in the opposite direction of making fun of people that just died, I'm gonna lean that way. Sherbert, good evening, or good morning rather.
This is crazy you're going so early.
Yeah, I just figured I'd come in.
Your access.
Huh?
No wonder they blocked your access. Going this crazy early.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we come on early. It's not often, or not common rather, but we do come on early sometimes. But what do you think about ICE at airports?
Just my main question on that is, what's the over/under on when pepper balls are going to be used at the airport? So that seems to be their only training. So when they let everything else get through the scanners, and then they get, something that happens towards the terminal, and they're like, well, pepper balls.
Well, the thing is, as long as you, I hate to utter these words. I'll say, as long as you comply with ICE, there's probably a 70% chance you'll be okay. Not with regular beat cops, I'd probably put it at a 90% chance. But with ICE, because the training and things like that, they're not as trained. But as long as you comply with them, there shouldn't be any pepper balls at the airport. Now, I would say this too: the airlines, who many of them support Trump, the Uniteds and Deltas and all. I mean, they're going to be bitching about this if it starts interfering with people wanting to fly, interfering with their bottom line. Don't you think they would bitch about it?
Well, they're going to bitch about it, but it won't matter to Trump. As long as he gets to play his game and be the big boss, nothing matters. He put tariffs on the entire world, which was going to shrink our GDP, or at least how much people bought from us. And it didn't matter. So, no, he doesn't give a shit.
Well, the belief was that tariffs were going to bring us in a fortune.
Man,
ICE at the airports is not going to lead to any extra money.
No, it'll only cost the government more money, and people won't want to fly. So then the airlines will lose more money. It's just all bad. Everything he does is always terrible. It's never well thought out. It's never going to help anyone except for the billionaires or somebody else like Kristi Noem's, friend that had a business 5 days before they got the contract.
Yeah, but you can't say everything. You can't say everything he does. That makes you sound like you got Trump derangement syndrome, sir.
Shut the fuck up, Tim. Shut the fuck up. It goes the other way. If you're still going to support Trump, you've got fucking TDS.
Well, wait. You saying if you're still going to fuck with Trump?
Yeah, if you still fuck with Trump, you have TDS.
I don't. No, listen. No. No. So what are they supposed to do? Dump Trump and get with this woman with the way she was handling the border? I mean,
they can actually hold him to the standard they hold everyone else to. If Obama can't fucking wear a tan suit, they can shut the fuck up against someone in the E-files. Fuck off. They can be friends with Kristi Noem and shoot her dog. Fuck off.
Why are you
done with this, Tim? Everyone that supports Trump still has goddamn TDS.
Why do you
strong with these ones?
I just saw on CNN Trump still has 100% support for MAGA. Hold on, hear me out. Because I think Straight Talk came on the program and brought this up. I do believe he does have 100% for MAGA, but the thing is, don't pay attention to the percentage, pay attention to the number. What I mean by it is, okay, Trump had, 77 million or whatever vote for him in November 2024. Okay, his supporters, the people that would likely vote for him, is most likely that 77 million has declined. But you can still have 100% support from that number. So if you got, 30 million people, 30 million MAGA, whatever the percentage of the Republican Party that voted for him are MAGA, which is about a third, that third is 100% behind him. The thing is, the number of citizens that third is represented as is decreasing. So he still got 100%, but it's less people.
But they do this on everything. You know, just, oh, it's gone up 10,000%, even though it was like, oh yeah, they only bought 2, so now they bought more. It's gone up by so much more. And like, okay, so you sold 6, but of course it's 100%. At this point, if you still support Trump, you're a Trump sexual.
What is a Trump sexual?
It's the ones that can't talk straight and they turn themselves into pretzels because they're still teabagging while they're trying to talk.
I think Speaker of the House Mike Johnson talks straight. Ted Cruz talks straight.
No. They're pretty good at doing that mimicry. They should have a puppet in their hand.
So why do you think, based on what you said,
they're going to say they're okay with Mueller, what he said about Mueller?
Yeah.
They're going to be totally fine with that. But anybody even laughs at Charlie Kirk and, oh, well, lose your job. You should be deported. Fuck you. Get the hell out of my
Why? And that's what we were asking. Why is that? Why is it okay for Trump to criticize Mueller within minutes of him dying, and for everyone from Trump to J.D. Vance to threaten the livelihoods and careers of anybody that criticized Charlie Kirk? What is the difference?
I wish I could tell you. Other than, you know, don't do as I say, not as I do. But that's not how it works when you're in the most power. You have to give everything consideration. But that's why everything's a joke. That's why the rest of the world fucking hates us right now.
Well,
I know you're going to say the North Koreans and the Russians fucking like us. I don't give a shit about them. The rest of the world that actually we do more commerce with fucking hate us right now.
Do you think that's something that is limited to Trump? In other words, once Trump's term is over with, are we going to find ourselves in a position where most of our allies are now more favorable to the United States again?
It's going to take a while, at least. You know, we'll see who. People have such a short memory. The first term of whoever's next will be related, and then people will forget after halfway through the next. But because Americans' memory is so bad, we're going to elect somebody else like J.D. Vance at that point and just ruin it all over again. It happens every fucking time.
Well, I don't think J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio would have been as boisterous in their commentary as Trump is. I think if you had got J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio, it would have been right back to boring politics as usual. J.D. Vance would not have been on TV as much as Trump, and Marco Rubio is far more polished. So Marco Rubio ain't gonna be saying crazy. Even if he felt that way, Marco Rubio knows how to deliver like a politician. So he knows how to play both sides and not deliberately insult people. And by the way, before you respond to that, Sherbert, for folks who want to be a live caller, the Handsome Liberal on Instagram or Substack, because TikTok is down. So understand my live callers on TikTok is down, but if you go to the Handsome Liberal on Instagram, we can make it happen. So any chance, because like I said, J.D. Vance and Rubio wouldn't do this again.
Oh, no. You have to be fucking crazy to do the kind of shit that Trump does. And there's a reason we've never seen anything else like this before. This is just retarded. Sorry, I can't say these words. I'm gonna get us in trouble.
Well, you can say it on Instagram. TikTok, for some reason, has become the most snowflake-ish. Making up words. The most snowflake-ish of apps in existence. I don't know why TikTok, purchased by friends of the Trump administration. The censorship on TikTok is crazy.
Well, I mean, the same thing on X. They're gonna let some crazy shit through, but then if you say anything about Charlie Kirk, well, your account gets banned.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually seen areolas on X. Did they ban people for saying things about Charlie Kirk on X?
I would put at least $50 on that they did.
Wow. I mean, hey, speaking of which, with Elon Musk taking over X, apparently he wants to pay the salaries for the TSA agents. Are we going to show Elon Musk some love for doing that?
I mean, if they can donate $300 million for a ballroom, I guess they can donate that amount every day in federal, pay wages. But I'm pretty sure there's a law saying, the government has to be the one to pay them, so there is no conflict of interest.
Yeah, and that would absolutely. Yeah, you take that kind of money from a multi-corporate guy like Elon Musk. Yeah, it's going to turn into some kickbacks and favoritism for him down the line. So yeah, you really can't take it for that reason, the conflict of interest reason.
Yeah, but they don't give a shit about conflict of interest.
No, it doesn't.
Fucking, we got the Qatari plane, which was a giant,
gift
against the emoluments clause.
He said, but Trump says that plane was a gift.
I just don't understand how Hunter can get in so much trouble for making $5 million in a job he wasn't qualified for, but yeah, he did the job. To then planes and his crypto being untraceable and making literally double his net worth, which was already a lot, even at the bullshit figures, like you can bring it down to where it probably was. It's still a lot of money. He doubled it.
I can understand. I mean,
nobody fucking gives a shit. Fuck all of you guys. That's why TDS goes the other way.
I can totally understand why Hunter Biden got scrutiny and folks are overlooking the enrichment of Barron and Ivanka Trump and how much money they're making. It's for the exact same reason as what I want to monitor here, is that for some folks, it does appear that things are okay, even while controversial, when Trump does them, that may not have been okay when somebody else did it. I mean, we are giving Trump a pass on a lot of things that many of his supporters criticize when it came from others. And this Charlie Kirk versus Robert Mueller thing is probably the best example I can think of. I mean, criticizing Charlie Kirk in depth versus criticizing Robert Mueller in depth. The way MAGA is viewing that it's like the definition of hypocrisy.
But that's been that way since day one. They're just a little more clear about it now than they used to be.
Yeah, this one here is hard to explain away. This one here is almost impossible to explain away. Other than we support Trump, so we're just going to give him a pass for doing it.
But they'll give him a pass for everything and anything. It's been that way since at least January 6th. Once they said it was a peaceful protest, we're just taking photos. You've given up the game. You have no goodwill for me when you've shown yourself to lie over and over and over again. That's why Straight Talk drives me so crazy when he says he's never lied. It's like he's lies literally all the time. And when you guys say that this is totally normal, totally fine, our president should say this about people who worked in the government. I mean, the same way he made fun of Mitch McConnell. No, not Mitch McConnell. The war veteran.
Mueller.
Couldn't lift his arms. No.
Oh, John McCain. Yeah. He continued. He continued chastising John McCain after he died. I got a viewer in the comments. I think it says Simba Timbers. I can't see shit without my glasses on, but he does. I can see the writing. He says this guy on the phone is a Fed. That comes from 7 Templars. And by the way, Angry Patriot is indicating that you don't know. He says this guy is confused on the meaning of TDS because you said people who support Trump people who are still supporting Trump are the examples of Trump derangement syndrome. He's saying you don't apparently know what Trump derangement syndrome is.
I just disagree with what they think it is.
What do you think? What do you think they think it is?
Bitches. I mean, they think it's anyone who ever says anything bad about Trump. They can't handle us fact checking them ever. So when they say I have TDS for just pointing out the obvious and what other people are saying, and then they can say some horrendous shit, and then it's just, no, I'm right. Always. These QAnon pieces of shit, they have TDS. They're deranged for Trump. I don't like the man, but I can pull up a million things about it, of why, mostly about the Epstein files.
Well, but the Epstein files, he is entitled to his day in court. There is no proof that he sexually assaulted a kid, right? You would agree with that, right?
I'm not going to comment on it right now. Nobody even gives a shit, and that's why I have no respect for MAGA. they've proven themselves. They're like, every single time this is going to be really bad for Trump. Somebody's going to see this and go, nah, I can't fuck with it. And then they keep on going, just, no, please, God King, please love me. Fuck off. I didn't like Biden that much. I didn't care for Kamala that much. I mean, I liked them a fuck ton more than the other one, but I never loved my candidates for the Democrat Party.
Please.
So I say you have TDS, you can fuck right off.
Please, God King. And I see Debbie Lux says MAGA has TDRS, acronyms meaning Trump Dick Riding Syndrome. Wow. Wow, that's harsh. Oh my God.
Good. But that's why I say they're Trump sexuals.
That's different. I've never heard of those acronyms. I'm learning as the show goes on. I'm being educated. If TDS is strong, wait a minute, said the TDS is strong in this one. The Trump haters are the most special people you'll ever meet. Smooth brain as ever, says Jason. Oh, here's what I want to ask though.
How many of these assholes thought Michelle Obama was a man?
They still think Michelle Obama is a man. They haven't stopped thinking that.
You have no legs to stand on anymore when you've proven yourself to be horrible, shitty fucking people. At least I can look at, I don't believe in God, but when I go to the pearly gates, I can go, yeah, that's a pretty good guy, right? I didn't fuck anyone over in my life.
Well, when you go to the pearly gates, say hello to President Trump for me. I hear he's going to heaven now. I'm gonna have to move it on, but you should be up there hanging out with our commander-in-chief. So say he'll have wings that says number 47 on him.
Yeah, it's gonna say 666 on him.
Sherbert, thanks for coming through. Have a good morning, man. I appreciate it. And go ahead and drop it for me. So looking in the comments, I give false. I'm having a hard time reading anything without these glasses on. I give, what is this? You got Mueller Kirk, but no Trumpstein. What is a Trumpstein? I give fades out for free. Okay, all right, fair enough. Give out some fades. He's going straight to hell, says Jay Haynes. So you saying Trump is going to hell? Trump is quoted as saying, I don't think I'm getting in heaven. He said that. Who's going to tell Tim when you make a mistake and you're in charge of the whole country and everybody else has to pay the consequences? It ain't a simple mistake. You just told me, and I agree with you. Doa Knife, I think I agree with you. It's not a simple mistake. I don't believe what Trump is doing is a mistake, though. I think some of this is hate. I mean, what he did to Robert Mueller. I mean, I would assume that any of my beloved MAGA would have suggested that anybody criticizing Charlie Kirk in death was hate. How does it change when it's Trump and Mueller? Mueller did an investigation on Trump. He didn't even come back and convict Trump of anything. He hates him for the investigation. And as I pointed out earlier, the guy's a war hero. Mueller's a war hero. Got a Purple Heart. He volunteered to serve in the Vietnam War when folks were making up any excuse they could not to serve. You may have heard of a couple of people that done that, or someone in particular that deliberately tried not to serve in the Vietnam War. He volunteered to do it. Why the hell does a veteran war hero like this gets that type of criticism moments after he passes away? Why is that acceptable? Why is that acceptable? In the comments, this is mass arrest. This is mass arrest in Iran. Yeah, well, that's another thing we're going to discuss. And he said Mueller let him off. I think that Mueller and what is his name, Jack Smith or whatever that guy's name is down in Florida, I think those folks were trying to prosecute Trump the way our system traditionally works. And they didn't expect what do you want to call them, a defendant or whatever the term is for. They weren't expecting somebody to do so much non-traditional stuff. Trump does not act in the traditional ways. Look at how he's governing. That's not how a president traditionally governs. I mean, he sent the military to U.S. cities and stuff like that. I mean, some of the things he's doing, we've had other presidents get us involved in conflicts, but not to this level. Not to this level. What we're dealing with Iran. So he's not a traditional president, and that's probably how he will go down in history. I mean, we can talk about presidents who didn't think that the elections went right. Hillary Clinton didn't think that the election went right that she lost. Neither did Al Gore, but they didn't do what Trump did. They haven't behaved in the manner of Trump. So he's not a traditional president. He doesn't, for instance, if the courts rule against him, he doesn't accept the ruling. He finds ways to go around all of this stuff. So he's not a traditional president. Seven is surely a troll here to jack up shit. He is an instigator. What is seven say? We don't mind a little bit of it, but as long as you're not spamming, we don't mind the criticism. It's not about Trump, it's about America anti-trafficking. Anti-trafficking how, though? Because the Save America Act is what President Trump is now suggesting, and I played this clip earlier, but more folks have started to tune in. And for my YouTube viewers, help out the algorithm, smash that like button. Doesn't cost you a damn dime to do it. Tap the like button, helps out the algorithm. That's where most of my MAGA come from, so it helps out, brings my more MAGA viewers on when you tap that like button on YouTube. But if you're watching on Instagram or Substack or TikTok, feel free to follow the program as well. But President Trump with the Save America Act, just, like I said, 3 things he's done controversial in the last 24 hours, and this is indeed one of them.
Posting this on Truth Social, quote, if the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before, including the...
First of all, what does it mean to do security like no one has ever seen before? Do you not hear a threat in that? If the radical left Democrats don't sign the agreement, which is the Save America Act, we're going to send ICE to the airports and they're going to do security like no one has ever seen before. What does that sound like to you? That sounds like law enforcement chaos to me.
Security like no one has ever seen before, including the immediate arrest of all illegal immigrants who have come into our country, with heavy emphasis on those from Somalia who have totally destroyed, with the approval of a corrupt governor, attorney general, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, the once great state of Minnesota. I look forward to seeing ICE in action at our airports, make America great again. And that comes, as we know, ICE is fully funded for a few years. So he does have the power to do this. And I guess the question remains, does Chuck Schumer continue this?
Now, I've heard on other networks that he does not have the power to do this. This is Fox. This report you're hearing is from Fox News. So they're not gonna criticize Trump or suggest that. But I don't know if it's true or if it's false. So I'm not gonna say Fox is wrong, but this is coming from Fox. But the thing about it is, you hear her read his post, and it's talking about they're going to arrest illegal immigrants, including Somalis. So he's making it sound like you're going to have ICE behaving at U.S. airports the same way they were behaving in Minnesota. This isn't a replacement for TSA agents that are currently not getting paid. This is a threat that if you do not bow down to the Save America Act, we're going to bring the same chaos we brought to Minnesota to our nation's airports. This is security like never before. What the hell does that mean? I mean, was security not being performed well under TSA? So yeah, he's making a threat here. And as I was talking with my last guest, Sherbert, it's going to lead to people not wanting to fly. That's what's going to happen. People are just not going to want to fly. It's when you... What is that word there? It's when your bias has the pseudo effect, and I can give you a step-by-step program on how to eliminate that. Well, give me somebody who's not. Didn't we vote for biases? Between Venezuela, Iran, and possibly Cuba, this will give the United States more power control over transportation, oil, and minerals. Yeah, but it's going to end up being America alone, and we'll have most of the world viewing us as enemies. I mean, remember, we were supposedly the world's good guys, the world's police. Now we're coming across like crooked cops. We're now like police going around shaking down drug dealers and taking shit from people. So the world's police have turned into crooked cops. You're talking about between Venezuela, Iran, and possibly Cuba. This will give the United States more power and control over transportation and minerals. So you're not even saying it's good for you're not even trying to pretend like it's good for Cuba, Venezuela, or Iran. So we're taking their shit to make it good for ourselves. Yeah, the world's police have turned into crooked cops. We're shaking down people. That's basically what you're saying. We're going to turn into cops that are shaking down people and taking cash off of them. Yeah. So all of a sudden now, what ends up happening? A lot more people are laying in wait to try to ambush cops. That's what's going to end up happening because you're basically portraying us as the bad guy. I tried to bring up what does it say? Fick Finney family. He's about to make a bunch of Proud Boys to be security for the airport. Yeah. Well, like I said, it's going to lead to people not wanting to fly, not wanting to come into the country, and because ICE seeking to go after illegal immigrants, as he says. So everybody's going to get shook down to make sure they're a U.S. citizen. That means people are going to be getting detained and missing flights and things like that. It's just going to lead to folks not wanting to fly. So it's going to hurt the airline industry. That's going to be the backdrop to it. Now, ICE, their job is to prevent illegal immigrants from being in the country. If TSA is replaced by ICE, nobody illegal is going to go to fly. So they're not going to be grabbing any illegal immigrants. Nobody's going to go to where all of these agents are standing around at conveyor belts and shit. Nobody illegal is going to go there. So the only people they're going to be fucking with is going to be people like you and me, regular citizens. You're not going to hear them bragging about how many illegal aliens they're catching trying to fly. It's not going to be any of those. So a Somali citizen that goes to fly from Minnesota to Detroit somewhere may end up complaining that they took me into a room and asked me a million questions and shit like that. But it's going to be citizens. It's not going to be illegal aliens. They would be smart enough not to go to that environment to begin with. Just like I believe strongly that illegal aliens are not voting. Why would you go to an environment like that to cast one ballot when you're a criminal in the country? I don't believe it's a whole lot of that. And I'll tell you this, if it was a lot of illegal immigrants voting, you would have heard about them being caught. Look, fact is there is a fake ID problem in America. There's been a fake ID epidemic in America for generations. People have used fake IDs to buy cigarettes. People have been caught using fake IDs to buy alcohol, to get in clubs and bars. People have been using fake IDs to drive cars, caught by police. This stuff has been going on for decades. People have been using fake social security numbers to get jobs. Stuff has been going on for decades. You hear about people getting caught using fake IDs all the damn time. Gas stations trying to buy cigarettes, clubs and bars trying to enter illegally, driving on the highway with a fake driver's license. How often do you hear about somebody getting caught at a polling place with a fake ID? There are actual law enforcement stationed at many polling places. Sheriffs, deputies are walking around, cops are walking. How often do you hear about somebody getting caught? If people are using fake IDs, you generally hear about people getting caught. You hear about it bouncers catch people walking in clubs with fake IDs all the damn time. Even a low-level gas station attendant can tell you about how they didn't sell cigarettes or alcohol to somebody who tried to present a fake ID. Why aren't you hearing about it at polling places? If it's actually happening, as Trump says, 18 million came in this country under Biden alone. That's in addition to all the folks that were here illegally before Biden. All of them folks, and you're not hearing about any of them getting caught? Make that make sense. They all are getting away with it. Nobody at the polling places is catching any of them, and there's some kind of legitimate excuse for how that makes sense when the girl straight out of college is catching people at the gas station presenting fake IDs, and nobody's catching them at the polling place. So I'm going to take that based on the fact that people have been getting caught with fake IDs for decades and use that to suggest you're not catching people at polling places because there ain't many of them doing this. This is not happening. You would be catching some of this. This is just not happening. They're not showing you, well, here's video surveillance because most polling places have video cameras. Here's a video of a guy. You see him standing at the booth. Here's his mugshot. This guy had no business being here. He certainly had no business voting. You would be seeing that. Where are the actual culprits? If it's happening to such a great degree, where are the actual culprits? I mean, do we try to explain away why there is nobody getting caught? Support Russell Talk. Wait, that's wrong. Support your local liberal. Thank you, handsome conservative. By the way, for you folks, for the day, the live access on TikTok is taken down. If you come on Instagram or Substack, we can still bring you up live, but on TikTok it's taken down. That doesn't mean you can't help your boy out with a hat and mustache every now and then. I appreciate that. They are not reporting it, Tim. That is for sure. Straight Talk, e-commerce guy, he is suggesting nobody is getting caught at polling places because out of the thousands of polling places all over this great nation, they are all collectively decided we're just not going to report it. Thousands of polling places. Every single county has one. We're just going to, and many counties have multiple. We're just all going to collectively not report that. And that somehow, some way makes sense. Okay, even in the Republican areas, our president who we favor is constantly complaining about illegals trying to vote. When we catch one, even though it would really be beneficial to what he's complaining about, we're just not going to report it. We're going to just let it go. It's hard to say that with a straight face. I'm just going to say it is hard to say that with a straight face. I'm going to block you after this, says Lefty7887. Wow. We don't like to lose followers, but understand, folks, this is a free speech program. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. But sometimes it happens to us. Some folks favor what we refer to as an echo chamber. There are liberals that want everybody on the program criticizing Trump and hating on the president. There are MAGA and conservatives that want everyone on the program to be wearing a red hat and supporting the president patriotically. We don't do that here. We believe in everyone having a chance to speak no matter what your political affiliation is. We say it all the time. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q. That's what free speech is about. Some folks don't want to hear their side criticized. For those folks, even though we don't like to lose viewers, we do promote you scroll away from the program because that's not what we deliver here. We don't deliver a program where only one side is favored and the other side is hated all the time. When Trump is doing something that's favorable, we believe he should get credit for it. When he's doing something that's awful, we believe that he should get credited for that as well. Same with Biden, same with anyone that's in the Oval Office. Looking in the comments, though, yeah, I don't like nobody, says the humble priestly king. Well, that's a special issue. That's a special issue. I'm surprised that you're actually telling the truth, says Eric Bar. Well, perhaps sometimes you guys can set me straight when I'm off course. Mueller let him off. Real quick in the comments, and smash that like button if you will on YouTube. Look it up, California. It is illegal to ask for ID. Just because people are not asking for ID does not automatically give you the right to suggest that illegals are voting. That's like saying, if I don't lock my door at night, it guarantees somebody's going to break in. No. There are plenty of places where people do things on the honor system. Hell, our politicians do things on the honor system. That's why President Trump has been so successful in using loopholes and shit, because they've done things on the honor system. I don't think the founding fathers ever thought somebody that was a felon would ever try to run for office and the American people would vote for that person. Take Trump out of the picture, anybody. I don't think the founding fathers ever thought that an American citizen that was officially deemed as a felon would be allowed to run and the American population would vote them in office. And that would apply to anybody that may be a felon. Trump is the first one to do it, but that would apply to anybody. I don't think they ever thought about that. So some of this stuff has been done on the honor system, and here we are. So the idea that California's not asking for ID and allowing it to be done on the honor system, that's kind of the American way. We've done a lot of things on the honor system. I want to start up a daycare in Minnesota, or I know where this is going. I want to start up a daycare in Minnesota on the honor system. Just send me $1 million check. Well, you're okay with the president running his own crypto. Why not allow a few Somalis to have their own daycare? What do you think is happening with that crypto? You think that's only you think that's on the up and up? And you think taking a jet from Qatar, it's just a gift. They don't want nothing back. It's just a gift. You might as well have a daycare center in the process. The founding fathers didn't have machine guns or rockets. That is true. That is true. I want to start. What does that say here? Right. There are still good people, few, but still some. True. Have you ever considered the other side of mass arrest? Wait a minute. Have you even considered the other side of mass arrest? Then we really want to fund a convict society. Who's the convict society? And what are you talking about in terms of mass arrest? Speaking of that, though, I did play this earlier because this, once again, like I said, Trump has done 3 things that are highly controversial. And I think this is also worthy of playing again since the audience has grown and rotated somewhat. I want you to hear this.
I'm Austin Westfall. We have been tracking the Middle East closely, and we were about to go to our overnight playlist, but we just got some breaking news in from President Trump. He just sent this out on Truth Social, saying if Iran doesn't fully open without threat the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours from this exact point in time, the United States of America will hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. That's all it says. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The president wraps by saying.
So he's talking about taking out the power plants in Iran, basically descending them into darkness. Now, while I was playing this, you may have seen my eyes. By the way, my eyes are going to be crooked because I'm staring at many cameras. And when I'm not staring at the camera you're watching me on, it comes across as my eyes are fucking crooked. I don't know. It happens all the time. People talk about it all the time, whatever. Anyway, while this was playing, the reporter reading this post from Trump, I got the big screen on. Iran has responded to this. So they're threatening to do the same if Trump does this. They are threatening to do this. So, but anyway, and by the way, you asked King for, you said, we're currently on Instagram, Substack, TikTok, and YouTube. So we're live on all of those platforms right now. And I gotta take this. Hang on a second. Hello? Yeah.